I remember the exact moment my life changed. It wasn't some dramatic accident, no grand betrayal or fiery explosion. It was quiet, like the sound of a door clicking shut behind you, and only later you realize you don't have the key to get back in. It was the winter of 2018. I was 26, working in a mid-level marketing job at a mid-tier firm in a mid-sized city. My life was okay. I had decent friends, a steady paycheck, and a one-bedroom apartment with a view of someone else's laundry line. But I had this gnawing sense, always, that I was meant for something more. And yet, I did nothing about it. I'd scroll past posts of people building empires, running marathons, starting up, and I'd feel a flicker of envy, but it would disappear by the next cat video. Then came a performance review. I walked in expecting, at the very least, a polite nod. Instead, I was handed a thin envelope and told I was being let go. Budget cuts, they said. Restructuring. Nothing personal, but it felt personal. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just nodded like someone who was already halfway out the door. And once I disappeared. At first, it felt like freedom. I didn't have to wake up early. I didn't have to fake enthusiasm in morning meetings. I could binge shows, sleep all day, eat cereal for dinner. A dream, right? But the days bled into each other. Hours became meaningless. Conversations became rare. I'd go days without speaking to anyone. I stopped answering calls, stopped opening emails, even from close friends. Eventually, they stopped coming. I vanished, not in a physical sense, but in the way people do when they stop participating in their own lives. I kept telling myself I was taking a break, but weeks turned into months. My savings ran low. My confidence hit zero. I couldn't even look at my resume without feeling like an imposter. Worse than being a failure was the fear that I'd peaked at 26. The turnaround came not with a bang, but a whisper. One night, 3:47 a.m., if I remember, I was scrolling through a Reddit thread called People Who Turn Their Lives Around Late. What happened? One comment caught me. Rock bottom isn't the end. It's the solid ground where you build from scratch. I stared at that sentence for a long time. Then I copied it onto a sticky note and put it on the wall. The next morning, I made my bed. That was all. But it felt like an act of rebellion against the chaos, against apathy, against the version of myself I'd become. The next day, I showered before noon. The day after that, I went for a walk. Baby steps. But each one was a stitch pulling me back into the fabric of the world. It was humiliating at first. Updating my resume, realizing how out of date I was. Writing cover letters that sounded like they were pleading. Getting ghosted. Rejected. Ignored. But I kept going. I took online courses. I volunteered for a local NGO just to feel useful again. I started waking up at 7 a.m. just to prove I could. I even signed up for therapy. And slowly, like a rusted machine groaning back to life, I felt a shift. Confidence. Not the arrogant, performative kind, but quiet belief. The kind that says, you're not there yet, but you're moving. 6 months later, I landed a contract role. Smaller company, smaller pay, but it was something. I was part of something again. I had coworkers, deadlines, a reason to wear shoes. Fast forward to now, 2025. I'm 33. I work as a strategy consultant for a firm I once thought was out of my league. I've spoken at conferences. I mentor young professionals. I've even helped design a mental wellness initiative at work because I know what it's like to vanish. But more importantly, I know how to come back. I learned that comebacks aren't loud. They're not viral videos or Hollywood montages. They're quiet battles fought in the trenches of self-doubt and loneliness. They're built on dull days, small wins, awkward conversations, and boring discipline. I disappeared once, but I came back stronger, quieter, and with a fire that doesn't flicker every time the wind changes. And if you're there right now, stuck, lost, unseen, just know, you haven't failed. You're just gathering fuel. Like, comment, and subscribe for more such videos.